Welcome to the very first episode of Beyond the Call, Medal of Honor Stories, the podcast dedicated to sharing the incredible true stories of the bravest soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines in American history. In this series, we'll explore the lives, battles, and heroic actions of those who have earned the Medal of Honor, the United States' highest military award for valor. This inaugural episode sets the stage for what's to come. Today, we'll take a deep dive into the history and significance of the Medal of Honor, how it was created, how it has evolved, and what it takes to earn this rare and revered decoration. In the episodes that follow, we'll focus on individual recipients, telling their stories in detail, bringing to life the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering determination that define them. Our mission is to honor these extraordinary individuals by sharing their stories in a way that is both engaging and informative. Some of these heroes made the ultimate sacrifice, while others continued to serve long after the war ended. Each of them went beyond the call of duty, and their legacy deserves to be preserved and remembered. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe and share it with others. By spreading these stories, we help ensure that the bravery and sacrifices of these Medal of Honor recipients are never forgotten. You can also visit trackpast.com for more military history, photos, videos, and additional podcast episodes. Thank you for joining us for this special first episode. Now let's begin our journey into the history of the Medal of Honor on Beyond the Call, Medal of Honor Stories. The Medal of Honor stands as the United States' most prestigious military decoration, awarded to those who have demonstrated unparalleled bravery and self-sacrifice in combat. Established during the American Civil War, it remains the highest recognition of valor in the face of overwhelming odds. The medal is not given lightly, as its recipients have performed actions above and beyond the call of duty, often at great personal risk. Unlike other military commendations, the Medal of Honor is reserved for acts of extraordinary heroism that defy expectation, embodying the very essence of military service and national gratitude. Despite the vast number of Americans who have served in the armed forces, the Medal of Honor is exceedingly rare. Since its inception, fewer than 3,600 individuals have received this decoration, a testament to the rigorous standards and extraordinary acts required for consideration. The weight of history and sacrifice behind each medal has granted it a near mythic status in American military tradition. To earn the Medal of Honor is to join a revered fraternity of warriors, each one a living or posthumous embodiment of courage. The award not only recognizes the heroism of individuals, but also serves as a symbol of the ideals that the United States military upholds. Origins and history. The Medal of Honor was born out of the turmoil of the American Civil War, a conflict that demanded acts of extreme bravery from soldiers on both sides. In the year 1961, facing the need to boost morale and recognize exceptional valor, Senator James W. Grimes introduced a bill to create a Navy Medal of Honor, which President Abraham Lincoln signed into law. A year later, Congress expanded the award to include the Army, setting the foundation for what would become the nation's most distinguished military decoration. In the war's early years, it was one of the few formal recognitions of battlefield heroism available to Union soldiers, leading to hundreds of medals being awarded, sometimes with little oversight. Initially, the Medal of Honor faced skepticism, particularly from military leadership accustomed to European traditions, where battlefield valor was often recognized through officer promotions rather than individual decorations. Critics worried that a medal system would cheapen the notion of selfless service. However, as stories of gallantry emerged, the medal's significance grew. Over time, stricter standards were introduced to ensure that only the most deserving acts of heroism were recognized, reinforcing the integrity of the award. As the United States military expanded, the Medal of Honor evolved to reflect its growing complexity. In the year 1915, the Marine Corps became eligible to receive the medal, and in the year 1965, the newly established United States Air Force received its own distinct design. While the Army, Navy, and Air Force each have separate versions of the medal, the criteria for earning it remain consistent across branches, requiring an act of extraordinary bravery performed at the risk of one's own life. Over the years, regulations tightened further, requiring that a nomination be rigorously reviewed by military leadership, the Secretary of Defense, and ultimately the President. This transformation solidified the Medal of Honor as a rare and sacred recognition of the highest level of military heroism. Criteria and the awarding process. Earning the Medal of Honor requires more than just bravery. It demands an act of extraordinary heroism that goes far beyond the normal expectations of military duty. The official criteria dictate that the recipient must display conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. This means that the action must be so exceptional that it clearly distinguishes the recipient from their comrades. The event must involve direct combat with an enemy force, and there must be overwhelming evidence that the individual's actions were not only voluntary, but also necessary to achieve a greater mission objective or to save others. Unlike other military decorations, the Medal of Honor is often awarded posthumously, as many recipients have sacrificed their lives in the process of earning it. The nomination and approval process for the Medal of Honor is extensive and highly scrutinized. A service member's commanding officer must submit a detailed recommendation, often supported by eyewitness accounts, official reports, and physical evidence such as photographs or video footage. The recommendation is then reviewed by several layers of military leadership, including the service branch of awards board and the secretary of the respective military branch. If the nomination withstands these rigorous examinations, it moves to the Secretary of Defense, who must approve it before passing it to the President of the United States, who, as Commander-in-Chief, has the final authority to bestow the award. Over the years, the criteria for the Medal of Honor have evolved, particularly as warfare has changed. During the American Civil War, the medal was sometimes awarded under more lenient standards, leading to instances where large groups of soldiers received it for relatively minor actions. In the modern era, however, the process has become far more restrictive, resulting in fewer recipients, even in extended conflicts like Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Some historians and military experts have debated whether the increased difficulty in earning the medal has led to a decline in awards, despite many instances of extreme bravery on the battlefield. Nonetheless, this heightened scrutiny ensures that each recipient embodies the medal's highest ideals of valor and sacrifice. Benefits and honors for recipients and their families. Receiving the Medal of Honor comes with more than just prestige, as it also grants recipients significant financial and career benefits. Medal of Honor awardees receive a special pension, currently set at $1,619.34 per month as of the year 2023, which is adjusted regularly for inflation. This pension is provided in addition to any other military or government benefits they may qualify for. Additionally, active duty service members who receive the medal are automatically promoted, ensuring that their rank reflects the level of honor they have received. If a recipient continues their military service, they also receive increased military retirement pay, ensuring long-term financial stability for them and their families. Beyond financial benefits, Medal of Honor recipients are granted unique privileges that distinguish them from other service members and veterans. One of the most well-known traditions is that all military personnel, regardless of rank, are required to salute a Medal of Honor recipient, an extraordinary honor that reverses the usual chain of military protocol. Recipients are also granted special access to military bases and facilities, including invitations to exclusive events. They are frequently invited to presidential inaugurations, official state ceremonies, and military celebrations as honored guests. Many recipients also receive special seating at national events, such as congressional addresses and sporting events, where they are publicly recognized for their service. The recognition of a Medal of Honor recipient extends to their families as well. Their dependents become eligible for educational benefits, including preferential admission and scholarships at United States military academies like West Point, the Naval Academy, and the Air Force Academy. If a Medal of Honor recipient passes away, they are entitled to burial with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery or any other national cemetery of their choosing. Additionally, their families continue to receive support through organizations such as the Medal of Honor Society, which provides resources, advocacy, and a lifelong community of fellow recipients and their loved ones. Notable recipients and their stories. Sergeant William Carney, American Civil War. One of the earliest and most significant recipients of the Medal of Honor was Sergeant William Kearny, who made history as the first African American to receive the award. During the Battle of Fort Wagner in the year 1863, Kearny served with the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, one of the first all-black units in the Union Army. As his regiment launched a daring assault on the heavily fortified Confederate position, Kearny saw the flag-bearer fall. Despite being wounded multiple times, he retrieved the flag and carried it forward, refusing to let it touch the ground. Even as he collapsed from his injuries, he ensured that the flag remained upright, symbolizing his unyielding commitment to the Union cause. Though he received the Medal of Honor decades later, his heroism cemented his place in history as a pioneer for African American soldiers. Audie Murphy, in World War II. When discussing Medal of Honor recipients, Audie Murphy is often at the top of the list. As the most decorated United States soldier of World War II, Murphy received every major combat award available at the time, including the Medal of Honor for his incredible bravery in battle. In January of the year 1945, near Holtzwihr, France, Murphy and his men were outnumbered and facing an overwhelming German attack. Ordering his troops to retreat, Murphy single-handedly mounted a burning tank destroyer and manned its .50 caliber machine gun, holding off dozens of enemy soldiers for nearly an hour. Despite being wounded, he continued to fight until reinforcements arrived. His heroism not only saved his men, but also changed the course of the battle. After the war, Murphy became a Hollywood actor, starring in films including one about his own life, ensuring that his legacy endured beyond the battlefield. Sergeant Roy Benavidez, Vietnam War. Few Medal of Honor recipients have displayed the kind of resilience and sheer determination shown by Sergeant Roy Benavidez during the Vietnam War. On May 2nd, in the year 1968, Benavidez, a Green Beret, voluntarily boarded a helicopter to rescue a 12-man reconnaissance team that had been ambushed by a much larger North Vietnamese force. Armed with only a knife and a medical bag, he jumped into the combat zone, tending to the wounded and organizing a defense while under intense enemy fire. Despite suffering multiple gunshot wounds, shrapnel injuries, and even being bayoneted, Benavidez continued to fight, loading survivors onto a rescue helicopter while providing covering fire. By the time he was pulled to safety, he had saved at least 8 of his comrades. Initially, he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, but after further review, President Ronald Reagan awarded him the Medal of Honor in the year 1981. Dakota Meyer, War on Terror. The War on Terror has produced a new generation of heroes, and Dakota Meyer stands out as one of its most recognized figures. In the year 2009, during the Battle of Ganjgal in Afghanistan, Meyer repeatedly defied orders to remain in a safe position and instead drove into the heart of an ambush to rescue trapped American and Afghan troops. Over the course of multiple trips into enemy fire, he personally saved 36 soldiers and Marines, often firing from the exposed turret of his vehicle while directing air support. His actions turned the tide of the battle and prevented even greater loss of life. In the year 2011, President Barack Obama awarded him the Medal of Honor, making him one of the first living recipients from the post-September 11th era. Meyer has since used his platform to advocate for veterans and mental health awareness, further extending his service beyond the battlefield. The medal's legacy and cultural impact. The Medal of Honor has shaped not only the United States military but also the broader American perception of heroism and sacrifice. The stories of its recipients serve as inspirational examples for service members and civilians alike, reinforcing the values of courage, duty, and selflessness. Throughout history, those who have earned the medal have been revered as national heroes, their actions studied in military academies and honored at ceremonies across the country. The medal has also influenced military training and leadership development, with officers and enlisted personnel alike looking to past recipients as models of battlefield excellence. Beyond the military, the Medal of Honor has become a powerful symbol in popular culture. Numerous books, documentaries, and films have been dedicated to recipients' incredible stories. Hollywood adaptations such as To Hell and Back, which starred Audie Murphy portraying himself, and more recent films like Hacksaw Ridge have brought these extraordinary acts of bravery to wider audiences. The gaming industry has also paid tribute, with titles such as Medal of Honor helping to introduce younger generations to the history and significance of the award. These portrayals, while sometimes dramatized, have cemented the Medal of Honor's legacy in the cultural consciousness. At the heart of preserving this legacy is the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, an organization composed exclusively of living recipients. The society works to educate the public, support veterans, and ensure that future generations understand the values the medal represents. Through outreach programs, public speaking engagements, and school initiatives, these recipients share their stories firsthand, inspiring thousands across the country. Despite the passage of time, the Medal of Honor remains one of the most enduring and revered symbols of American military history, a testament to those who have gone above and beyond in service to their country. Closing thoughts. The Medal of Honor represents the highest ideals of courage, sacrifice, and selflessness in military service. It is more than just a decoration, as it is a symbol of the extraordinary lengths that individuals will go to in defense of their comrades and their country. The stories of those who have earned this prestigious award serve as a reminder of the cost of war and the heroism that emerges from its darkest moments. Each recipient, whether from the American Civil War, World War II, Vietnam War, or modern conflicts, has demonstrated acts of valor that continue to inspire generations. As warfare evolves and military traditions change, the significance of the Medal of Honor remains undiminished. It continues to shape the culture of the armed forces, reminding service members of the values they strive to uphold. At the same time, its legacy extends beyond the military, serving as a national reminder of the bravery and sacrifice required to protect freedom. Whether through historical accounts, public ceremonies, or the efforts of the Medal of Honor Society, the recipients' actions will never be forgotten. It is the duty of every American to honor these heroes, ensuring that their sacrifices are remembered and that their stories continue to be told. That wraps up this first episode of Beyond the Call, Medal of Honor Stories. Today, we explored the history, significance, and legacy of the Medal of Honor, setting the stage for the incredible stories ahead. Over the next episodes, we will dive deep into the lives of individual recipients, heroes who faced impossible odds and went beyond the call of duty in the most extraordinary ways. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with others. Spreading these stories helps ensure that the bravery and sacrifices of these Medal of Honor recipients are never forgotten. You can also visit trackpads.com for more military history, photos, videos, and additional podcast episodes. Thank you for joining us for this special first episode. We'll be back soon with the story of our first featured Medal of Honor recipient. Until then, remember the courage, sacrifice, and selflessness that define these heroes.